evening, Truck and Tractor Pool fans. The last show for 2022.
I need to get down a little bit, get the party hat on.
There you go. Yeah. Mike looks like he's got stuff dribbling out of his yap. Boy, is Mike froze or
He looks a little grumpy.
Mr. Excitement there tonight, huh?
He looks like a grumpy cat down there in the bottom.
It's okay.
He must be froze.
Hi, Mike. Mike. Hi, Mikey.
He just doesn't care. My feelings are hurt. He's not acknowledging us.
Oh boy, how's Kendra tonight? We'll talk to Kendra.
Kendra is doing wonderful. Christmas was good. I was supposed to have 4 days off, but we had some issues at work, so I ended up getting 3 days off. But now I get another 4-day weekend this weekend. So tomorrow's my Friday, so I'm great.
Awesome. That's good.
How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was very laid back.
Good.
Calm, laid back. Had a good time with the parents, Cindy, and the kids, aka the cats. Yeah, I had a good time. It was nice and simple. Nothing super extravagant. I guess as you get older, that's more inviting.
Yeah.
And yours?
I joked that I was in bed by 6:30 on Christmas Day, and that was great.
Wow.
Well, my day starts at 4 in the morning because I get up and do cinnamon rolls for my family, long-standing tradition. So so I'm not sure how I was the grandkid. My grandmother had, I don't know, there's like 15 of us, and I'm not sure how I'm the one that gets that responsibility. But it's okay. It's one of my favorite Christmas traditions. So in bed by 6:30 when your day starts at 4 and you're nonstop ever since is not so bad. So I didn't get anything pulling related, and I only got one pickle thing related. So I'm a little confused about that. Clearly somebody didn't get my wish list.
Ain't touching the pickle thing. Don't want to know. Mikey's having technical difficulties, as we call it. I told him he just sent me a message. I told him to log out and log back in and see what happens.
Yeah. Anywho, 2022, what a year.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things. The big thing is after a... Hi, Mikey.
Is he back?
He's back. Hi, April.
There he is.
April Puffenbarger was the number one, the first Keystone Nationals Truck and Tractor Pool 2023 ticket buyer.
Mm-hmm.
I got my message about 20 after 9. How come they're not on sale yet? I said, give me a couple minutes. I was working.
Listen, I have no doubt April and her family have been long standing Keystone reporters, interstate fans. We love having them. And she's great at posting videos.
Yes.
We don't often have a lot of interstate pool videos. If she is at a pool, every single run has a video, has a distance. Absolutely. It's great.
Yep. That's awesome. Lynn Clark, how are you? Of course, we're streaming also Beer Money Pulling Team tonight. Mikey's really having some problems.
So you want to talk about some technical difficulties?
Yeah. Might pay him to just use his telephone. I'm going to send him a message real quick. But what I wanted to say was, after an extreme disappointing 2020, with one show done, and getting called into the office Thursday after the show at the complex, and of course 2021 we were canceled as well. We were back in live action for sure.
Yes.
In 2022 at the Keystone Nationals Indoor Championship Indoor Truck. And we good turnout of poolers. I have all 17 champions right here in my hand. And, they haven't received their goods yet. I'm working on it. It's busy. Really, really busy.
Say nobody talk bad about the guy who does that because,
Nobody to blame but JR, but that's okay. JR will get it taken care I was actually having a lot of software problems, and I ended up buying new software that was supposed to be similar to what same company, same format, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, it's not. So I got to, I'm an old dog, so you got to retrain old. What's that saying?
Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
There you go. So I'm in teach mode. So. Excuse me, but wow. But anyway, we're going to do
Got a frog in your throat there.
Okay. Well, Mike, unfortunately, is just going to be watching, so that's okay, Mikey. He was going to cover a couple of things for us tonight. He can message me if my phone battery don't die first. But I would just go over a fantastic show. We did, unfortunately, I hate to bring this up first off, is the passing of some well-known people in the sport of truck and tractor pulling here in the East and abroad in the United States. Butch Krieger, we just lost him most recent. And if you don't know who Butch Krieger is, you don't know truck and tractor pulling as far as Louisville or anything PPL. And many at Bowling Green, Butch has talked at quite a few events. And we'll miss him from here on out. Mike Umps, that was just a freak accident, and we sure do miss Mike. And we wish Kelsey, and she's lost both her parents now, so we wish her the best.
I believe something positive that's going to come out of that. I believe that Kelsey is going to try and put together a memorial truck pull in honor and memory of her dad. I think Jimmy Moritz is helping with that.
Yeah, I got a phone call about that last week or whenever we were camping.
Yeah, so
they're working on that.
One positive will come of that, and I'm sure that'll be a very nice, well put together pull and a very well attended pull by both fans and pullers.
There may be some others that I can't. I try not to dwell on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thurman Mumford Jr. Junior Mumford. We lost him very early in the year, prior to the Keystone Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
That was just young man wasn't 50 years old yet. It doesn't matter what your age is, to lose your life sucks.
Leaving behind two very young kids.
Very young kids, and
a wife, Amanda.
We did some calendars for Thurman Mumford. If you know Thurman Mumford, his dad, we did. I made calendars for him. He just got them 2 weeks ago, I guess. And he's going to be selling them, and all profits, proceeds, 100% go to those two kids for
great
college or whatever they're doing with the money. It's for those two children, his grandchildren. So, yeah, I don't know what he's going to sell them for. I know he ordered 30, and it turned out quite well. I haven't heard from him, so I hope he's pleased with them. But when I did the layouts on them, this is really going to be nice.
Yeah,
I'll be talking to him soon. But I mentioned Junior Mumford because the first champion I'm going to mention from the 2022 Keystone Nationals is Thurman Mumford, senior.
I actually had that.
Champion.
I had that on my top 5 list of
Good.
stuff
Okay.
for.
Sorry to ruin
for me this year.
Okay.
For my personal experiences this year, watching senior sweep the weekend, to win the preliminary, to have the furthest distance in the regular pool, and then come back in a pull off and win on Junior's tractor, gave everybody chills, put tears in their eyes. It was a awesome memory.
Yeah, well, the tractor was Thurman's.
Yeah.
The mechanical bull, but like Thurman said, he was riding along with it. So.
Yeah.
Because that tractor would come down the track. Last hook the pool of the weekend
Yeah.
to take the championship, and that tractor was on you couldn't have scripted it any better. It was on a set of rails
Yeah.
straight to the beach, and I mean,
Yeah.
if there was any dry eyes in there when that happened, anybody that's, if you will, in the inner circle
Yeah.
of pulling, and I'll admit, my eyes, I wasn't falling or anything, but it touched me quite well. And, it
Yeah.
was awesome to see.
Yeah. That might have even been a top 5 Keystone moment of all the years. That was a pretty
very easily, because that just, you couldn't have scripted it. If you tried, you could not have scripted that to happen. It's amazing.
Yep.
It was definitely a special presence there. Sorry. John Sutton won he was champion of the small block minis. Ricky Blizzard was the 7,800-pound modified champion. Wayne Tapscott II was the modified 4x4 champion. Pete Yarrington, big block mini champion. Mark Bradish with the M80 diesel super stock took the championship. And I'm going to tell you one thing: Darren Olden was in his tracks, and he was digging and hunting. He was right there with him, but Mark squeaked it out. Scott Christ, just for fun, out of New York, and what a character he is. He's just a good guy to stop. He'll just, I kind of think it's funny. Usually he'll just throw a comment at you to get you to stop talking. Sometimes you can just look over at him and just gives you that eye, because something funny or smart is going to come out of his mouth. He's a great person, and he was a super farm champion. Austin Stoner, the small block 4x4 trucks, and what a tough trio those three boys are. The two boys and the dad. That's for sure, Benny and Jared. Austin. David Rosick, no stranger to being a champion. The Outlaw 4x4. He won another championship there. Steve LaGrange, first-time puller there and champion in the Pro Stock tractor division. Matt Dersham with the Light Limited. The other half of it.
Oh, I forgot that he won this year.
He did. Yes, he did. He was on a roll early on in the year.
Yep. And then he let Clayton Sweeney drive his tractor, and it all went downhill.
Like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up, people. Get your friends and family on here. Let's make this show spectacular.
Yeah. Speaking of Clayton Sweeney, want to wish him a congratulations. I see he got engaged over the holiday.
Yes.
So congratulations to him. Yeah. And I'm only somewhat serious about him being the reason Dersham's tractor fell apart. Literally in Westminster.
Right. Is that on one of your top 5 lists too?
No, that didn't make it.
He's probably thankful of that. Alex Ferry driving the Sunset Smoker. Jeremy DeLuca won the Pro Farm Championship. That's a Case tractor. And I'll tell you what, Case had a very good year this year.
Yes.
Matt Smith, fast forward, won the Light Pro Championship. You have more to talk about that here shortly.
Yeah,
actually occurred prior to this event.
Yes.
We'll get to that. We'll backtrack a little bit. Charlie Ruckert with the Ain't Cheating Yet Dodge won the Diesel 4x4 Championship. Nate Williams with the Addiction.
Addicted.
Is it Addicted?
Yeah.
Or Addiction?
You're right. Addiction. Justin Latour is addicted.
Dare you? Second guessing woman. My turbo champion.
I know. I should be better at that. I'm sorry, Nate, if you're watching.
And then the last 2 classes are what we call one and done. The work stock diesel class that runs Saturday morning around knock. I guess it's Diesel Motorsports or whatever. Brings the class of 10 in. And Drew Slayback was the champion in that class. And then James Gray on Thursday night took the 11,000-pound Hot Farm Championship to New York. Yep. It was good to, like I say, after dismal 20 and 21 for Keystone, we were back in full force. And guess what? The gears are turning for 2023. Ticket sales are going daily. driver signups are coming in. I've got a message into one of the two that's taking care of the website to start, hopefully here very soon, start putting the competitor names up that have signed up so far. So, a couple new classes are on coming. The small block blown mini tractors from Ohio have a class that they're bringing in, and I believe it's 8,700-pound limited pro, which is a Western Pennsylvania style class. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And they're very similar to the 8,500 mod turbo, but there is just some ever so slightly rule differences there.
Yeah, so. I believe the pump is one of the big differences.
Pump in full pool productions, you're allowed to run a recast head within certain specs. I think it has to be within a certain amount of OEM height and stuff like that. So. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know what the exact rule is, so don't quote me on that, but I do know there is.
Readily available at fullpoolproductions.com.
Yeah.
You can read all the rules. InterstatePoolers.com. You can read the rules for the mod turbo class. But let's back up and let's talk about that misfortune for Matt Smith.
Yeah, so in preparation for this show tonight, I was trying to think back of, what were my top memorable moments from 2022. And, of course, I did what everybody does, and I go back through my Facebook and my pictures on my phone. And it's hard to believe, but 2022 out at Shipshewana was when Smokey, or Matt Smith, the very, 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 very unfortunate engine, what does Denny Heggenstaller call it? Catastrophic engine failure.
Pretty catastrophic.
Yeah, it was something when Smokey literally grenaded his engine across the track, and tried to take it out the building. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Smokey is able to laugh about it now, and we are able to make lots and lots of jokes. But yeah, so that obviously goes down as one of the top moments, not only because of that, but because of the weekend that he had. He was able to win with the light pro tractor every time that it was on the track. So he won both of the preliminaries and both of the finals. So out there they can run in two different classes. They can run in a limited pro class and the light pro, and he was able to win every time he was on the track. And I believe that he also won at least the preliminary with the fast forward light limited too. So Smokey just had an absolutely incredible weekend up until she let go. Another one of my memorable moments was Louisville. Wasn't sure I was going to be able to go because, tax season is real. And it's in February, which is not a great time to go. But thankfully, I have some awesome, awesome bosses, and they let me go. Special for two reasons. One, Josh Martin, this was the first time he was in Louisville without his dad, Robert. Robert passed away in 2021. So it was pretty awesome to be there with Josh, Josh and Brandy, the first year there without Robert. Definitely a bittersweet year. And then, of course, it's no secret about my infatuation with that Chapter 11 truck. So Norm was actually able to get in. And Andy Grove, that was his last pull with Bad Timing. So just weird, lots of things happening, and I was glad I got to be there. We talked about senior at Keystone. That was definitely a year to remember. The Pullers Championship. Norm was able to get fan voted in to go out there, as did Chris Hoyt, and we had a fantastic weekend. On the track, off the track. Pickle power. We had a camper out there. We all stayed there on site. I learned that is common practice out west. For them guys to have weekend pools and everybody just stay out, have a good time. That's not something we do a lot on the East Coast. Um, and it's common out there. So it was kind of cool to live like the the western half of the U.S. Um, did a lot of cooking. Norm obviously swept the weekend. Um, just it was freaking hot though. If it could have been like 75 degrees instead of 95, definitely would have been a lot better. But no, that was definitely the highlight. Um, had a really fun regular season, interstate side of things and East Coast. Fortunate enough to be able to go to a lot of both. Um, and then obviously I like weekend pools because 3 weekend pools made this list. Ceilings Grove Championship weekend, always a good time.
Yep.
Always a good time up there. And then this past month and a half ago when we were down in Georgia for Diesels and Dark Corners. First year it rained out, but we still had a really good time and all that. For bad, I wrote down catastrophic engine failures. We had Smokey had one, and then Vern had two. Not a good year. So, obviously, Dr. LZ up at Union County, it dislodged its engine there at the starting line, and then Double OZ spit hers out up at the Beaver Fair at the end of the track. So, but with that being said, you want me to go ahead and do the points champions?
Who am I to stop?
So
thank you, Mike. By the way, thank you, Mike.
So Double OZ, like I said, had catastrophic engine failure at Beaver Springs or the Beaver Fair. And then in a fun little exciting turn of events, because Double OZ and Papa Smurf were fighting for the points championship, and I think there was like 34 or 36 points in between Double OZ and Papa Smurf. So if Jason would have placed, I guess it was in the top 3 at Harrisonburg, he would have beat Double OZ in the points because obviously Double OZ was not coming back.
Action, Mike. Just get rid of him.
Yeah. So we unfortunately for BJ, who puts on the pool in Harrisonburg, the pool was rained out, which meant that Double OZ was your points champion for 2022 in the mod turbo class. That tractor was piloted by Jason Yankee Malott. Everybody calls him Yankee. And Vern Zerby, obviously. So congratulations to them. Late limited turbo was Ben Flaherty Jr. With the Smokin' Red. And what makes this year extra special for them, too, was Ben Sr. did some driving this year to help aid with that points championship. In the Pro Farm class, we had Chris Pangle. So that was
Jeff King.
I was like,
former Pro Farm,
yeah,
Hot Farm champion.
Yeah. It was High Cotton when Jeff owned it, and Chris kind of went back and forth on a name all year. But what's important is not the name. It's that he walked away with the 10,000 pound Pro Farm Points Championship. Super nice guy down there in the Shenandoah Valley, and they just don't make them like that up anywhere else. In the 11,000 pound Hot Farm class, we had Marshall Beidel with the Marshall Law tractor. That's a very strong running Ford 9000 that always makes a statement when it's on the track. In the 1850 small block mini, we had John Sutton with the Bear Tracks, who was also the Keystone Nationals champion this year. And I think, was this the first year for Heather's tractor? Or did she come out in 2021 too?
You're asking an East Coast guy. I think it was out in 21.
Yeah, I think it came out, like Franklin County Fair, it came out in 2021. So him and his wife both have tractors in that class, and John came out on top with the Bear Tracks. In the big block class, we had Rodney Yarger with the Agitator. Fortunately, I don't know a bunch about that tractor, so I can't really say anything. The 6,000 pound classics went to Kevin Stitzer with Cool Hand. That is a father and son team. Good to have them guys out. They're fairly new to the class, so good to have them out. In the 7,800 modified class, no stranger to championships was Kevin Stauffer with the Rough and Ready.
Who?
Kevin Stauffer. Like, really? I was just getting ready to ask you how long since he went from East Coast to Interstate.
I spent the first event at Easton in April. Uh, Me and Mike went there and got there super early, and we talked with Kevin. And, oh my goodness gracious, quite a while.
So when did he make the switch from East Coast to Interstate?
He
It's been
really
years.
he ran a mini modified,
Mm-hmm.
and actually has a Bowling Green ring. I
Yeah.
think the first one ever in that class. He is the recipient of that. As far as when he pulled East Coast, it would be
Yeah.
before. But he builds a lot of engines for people. I know that.
He builds a lot of engines.
Very busy.
Yeah, in the 4,500 small block truck class, also your Keystone Nationals champion was Austin Stoner with Analyze This. Like JR said, crazy strong running trucks.
Yeah, I think Mike's right. I don't ever remember him really running East Coast. He has driven trucks for some of his couple of his customers. But I don't know.
Oh, I thought I remembered them saying that that's why he was always so early to the pools was because of him running East Coast, and they always have you get there super early. That's where I was getting that.
Early, you just got to be there an hour before
Yeah.
start the show before registration.
Yeah. In the 6,200 pound modified class was Jamie Wright with the Looking for Dirt truck. And then I saved the best for last. The 6,200 two-wheel drive truck class. None other than Ian Ericker with the Village Idiots.
That idiot got the championship. I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yes. That was another points race to the end between Ian and the 8-up of Jason Forster and Eddie Yocker. Like they were.
That's a neat class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm obviously partial to Interstate, and I have a lot of really good friends that run that class. But that is
Norm.
a neat class.
Run away. Run.
Poor Norm. Poor Norm. But no, the 6,200 two-wheel drive class for Interstate, with throwing that diesel in there, it really makes it an interesting class. Really getting good traction. I know there's at least 2 trucks being built now to add to the class. So yeah, so much so people are having to buy more semis. So
there is a former East Coast truck in that class.
Yes.
The former Ball Salt.
Driven by none other than Chelsea Forrester and her father. I think they're still throwing around truck names on that one, but yes. Yeah, that truck has had quite a few names. So I guess we'll see. Chelsea's off playing basketball now at Potomac State, somewhere in West Virginia. I know she's playing basketball. It's like 3 hours away in West Virginia. That's all I know. Good luck, Chelsea. So hopefully she can make it back next summer to do some running there.
Yeah, it's a joke. There's a video floating around. We've done it a couple times on our way to Keystone. As a matter of fact, we do it on our way to Keystone. Might go get his cell phone out. Excuse me. And you go by York Barbell. They have a guy out on the sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that video.
It's always been an arm switch. That's comical. Yeah. Champions there. And no banquet. I wonder why they decided not to have banquet. Not to pick, I'm just curious.
We'll
Just did.
discuss that off air.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
No, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. No interstate banquets, so
Okay.
we'll just leave that there.
I've been to them. I've been to them. It's been a
Yeah, ever since COVID, we haven't had one. So ever since 2020.
Hmm.
So how about those East Coast champions?
Oh, so you're telling me you're all wrapped up? Okay.
I mean, I could probably find something else to talk about,
Oh,
but
you're gonna have to. We're 31 minutes into this thing here. So.
I'll come up with more stories from this year.
Folks, please feel free to chime in with a question, comment. If you know something you didn't hear us mention, let us know.
Or your favorite memory from 2022.
Yeah, you were going to ask me that. I knew that was coming.
Well, no, I'm saying everybody else could chime in with their favorite
please,
memory.
please do, because I have a thing that I don't try to pick anything particular, because I will have forgotten something. I will be reminded of that rudely.
Well, just leave it as most memorable. It doesn't have to be your favorite. Just
Most
a
memorable.
memorable moment. Good or bad.
Let me think about that.
Yeah. I have a bad most memorable moment we'll share after the points you can be.
Well, there's some bad memorable moments. I'm not going to excuse me. We're both having trouble talking though.
Yeah.
You know, we had a good year. I wish our pooler numbers were up, but I understand, a lot of people, life happens. Yeah, we had a lot of first. Mike's chiming in now. We did have a lot of first-time learners and new drivers. Brian Morrison.
Yes.
Brian Morrison's one with the shed shaker and hot farm. And now Brian Morrison, you're going to hear that name again. Turn up my mic volume. I don't know why it's down. I haven't touched it. A message from Dave Doherty. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Just fine, okay. Turn up your volume on your phone.
No, so yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm sorry. Back to Paige Lance, which is the granddaughter of Mike and Linda Ziegler. It was her first year wheeling the Iron Butterfly modified four-wheel drive. I'm sorry, David. I don't know what's going on. He sent me no message. If you really want to be on that bad, I'll just send you a link. You can come on here.
Yeah, then he can hear us
I got
straight
to call
through
you back
StreamYard.
too, by the way, buddy. I apologize. He called me, gosh, last week or the week before. This has been busy. But Carl Seiler, no stranger to pulling hot street semis, brought his Freightliner, oh my, to the big tour, if you will, here in East Coast. And had a pretty good year. Had some breakage at the end of the year that kind of sidelined me for the rest of the season, but I'll look for him to come back. And Brad Peters.
Yes.
In the hot farm class with a Case. Case had a big year this year, right? And Alan Lynch with a tractor that has been around a long, long time, starting as a super stock called the Green Phantom. On from there. But anyway, Rookie of the Year, Brian Morrison, also was our East Coast Pro Pulling Hot Farm champion. So he's got the pleasure of the rest of his pulling career saying, I was Rookie of the Year and I won the push championship my rookie year. That's awesome. Very consistent tractor. Him, Nick, Nick won the points his cousin in 2021, and then we have Brian in 2022. And who knows what we have in 2020? Oh boy, Dennis just wrote you a storybook there. Lynn Brookhart, no stranger to the championship circle with East Coast Pro Pulling. with the radio reactor. A very unique machine. He got the championship. Fred Hoke. We'll talk about him last. We'll talk him up last. Yes. Lane Taps got the second. Tasmanian Terror 2. Modified 4x4 champion. Darren Wilson. Young fella. Been willing for a couple of years now. And Wilson family with the Dirty Money 2-wheel drive. Took the championship. More Motorsports. Davey did the driving all season. Normally Tara's seat. Took the championship in the Super Stock Pro Stock tractor class. Hank Oster, new stranger again to being a champion with the Scrapper in the Limited Pro Stock semis. Oh, Diesel 4x4 trucks. Some guy named Norman Newswire.
Some guy. I hear he's got a pretty awesome crew chief / I don't know what I am. I ain't the crew chief. I'm just the cook.
Crew chief.
I'm the cook and the coffee supplier.
Chief Pickle. We'll call you Chief Pickle.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's championship. And I'll go back to Fred Hoke in the light for Fred Hoke, just nice, consistent little season for him. Got some wins under his belt. Of course, we know he bumped horsepower up a good bit on Never Enough. And of course, he had that catastrophic engine failure and driveline failure, which came to catastrophic engine failure at our final hook of the season in Greensboro, Maryland. And it was ugly. Everything went through the roof, and everything came apart, so to speak. But I talked to him afterwards, and of course, you know, it was he had a good run until things decided to say we're done, and we talked, and he said, "Man, I knew that thing was a ticking time bomb all year."
Yeah. And I remember him saying that, you know, when I'd go up and talk to him like at Shippensburg. He's like, it's only going to happen for so long.
Yeah, he said it's going to happen. And which is true for anytime you're pushing something to the limit. It's a matter of time. But it held together for him until the last full of the season, and it was a good enough hook to win him the championship against Kevin Up. I think Kevin Up was chasing him pretty hard there.
Yeah, I think they were down to like 2 or 4 points.
Kevin Up's a hard runner, so I mean, he's gonna make you earn it, and Fred earned it. And it was awesome to see. Of course, we've had Case Tractors in the champion circle with Chris Hoyt in another class with Super Pros. But, Fred also, for 2023, will be participating at the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
We'll be cheering hard for Fred.
Super excited for that family.
That are going.
Yep. That family's been involved in pulling in a very, very long time in every aspect of it, from promoting to being president of the pool club to farm stock antiques. You know, all the facets right there. So,
and I think Paige Lance, young lady, the granddaughter of Mike and Linda Ziegler, got half a dozen to 8 good hooks under her. You know, so it's a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
That girl wheels that truck like she's been in that truck for 10 years now. She's really, really caught on to that, and even got a win in Bel Air, Maryland this year. So that was really awesome to see. I know Mike and Linda's tickled with how things are going with her progressing, driving the truck. So only good things can come.
Mm-hmm.
It already is. I mean, she's learned well. You know, she's got 2 good teachers. I mean, Mike and Linda have been doing this a long time. So that's good to see. And of course, the other big thing, the big scare that happened, announced after the national banquet for the Pro Pulling League, was, well, the message boards went for fire. I hate to bring it up, but hey, you know what? This is probably my number one moment for 2022. The day I started reading messages that East Coast is done. We're finished. Lucas Oil's done. Pro Pulling League's done. We're finished. I just, talking to the right people, I just sit back and took it all in, and I thought, I just want to reach through and just, people, come on. Don't people so. I mean, it's society. It's just human nature. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bust the bubble. Guess what? There was a recent press release from Pro Pulling League that answered that question, and I was tickled to death to see it. And Lucas Oil is still a sponsor. They no longer own the Pro Pulling League. It has new owners. That really, I don't think has really been released publicly yet.
No, it
I'm not
hasn't.
going to say anything. I know who they are, and I am very confident that nothing has nor will change. So, member states, carry on. And we are East Coast Pro Pulling's carrying on, booking pulls as we speak. So, no changes. Um, I don't know what to say. That was probably my biggest moment when all that crap started flying around. I'm like,
yeah. Over in the comments, Clint, no, there will not be a class of semis at Keystone this year.
no.
I
We
think
had it one time. We had it one
we
time.
tried that one time, and it just
it's tough
not
to
enough
pull
room.
semis indoors. That's a lot of metal
Yeah.
indoors. Also, they did it at Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tom and Dana Lindsay, back when Forrest Lucas was uh, fresh on board to come in here and form the Pro Pulling League. But he actually drove one of the Lindsay trucks. I forget which one it was. It's probably Dana's truck. But yeah, that was interesting. And I remember they were nervous moving the trucks around down in the basement of the building because there wasn't a whole lot of room for them to get through. They took care of it. And it's the same way with Keystone. Just room is sparse for something that big. Cool to watch indoors.
Yeah. And Heggy, same to you. Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a top-notch announcer right there, folks. What Heggy, if you're still watching, what was your most memorable moment watching from the announcer's booth and or as a fan in the stands?
How about you, Mike Walker? You're
Oh.
you're taking care of the chat for us here, so.
Well, Mike Walker, you're supposed to tell us about the new vehicles.
Yes, new vehicles, Mike. Yes, we know. We have. Is it Midnight Wolf? I believe, which is the old. It's a triple Chevy machine, but terrible with names tonight, man. Sorry, Mike. Can't think of your last name right now.
Robbie Campbell. Yep.
Robbie
the
Campbell,
new drive.
New owner of a Mike Rankin. That's it. There you go. Thank you. And then it's Armin Frankart's old tractor that Mike bought and retooled and get some more seat time with it. We'll see what happens in 2023 with that. Yeah, Robbie Campbell out west and got a very nice, decent running Hemi. It's a good running Hemi. Two-wheel drive Ford. I just released a video this evening of that two-wheel drive class from the championship weekend at Snyder County, and Robbie is the cover photo for that thumbnail photo. Yeah, Brian Morrison, that tractor was no stranger to the track before he bought it. Kendra, did you cover that?
Mike needs to learn how to type faster.
What'd you do, Mikey? Your fingers freezing up?
Peggy, like I said, for those who can't read it, Dennis Heggenstaller, who was an announcer up in North Central PA, yeah, there he said, he was there for both of Vern's bad nights, and memorable does not always mean good. As I said, with Smokey's unfortunate engine failure, Vern's engine failures. Those are definitely things you'll never forget. But you hate to say this because we know all too well what it cost, but that's the stuff you remember. And it happens. It is part of pulling. You hate that it happens, but everybody knows when they're getting in that seat.
I won't put that up.
I just.
Yeah, or the wild side. Irv Clark brought out a second
Yeah.
truck. Good looking truck. Got a win or two or so out with it. Had a good season with it. Which, like he told me, it's a learning curve. The other one hooks better with the nose in the air, and this truck here didn't like that. So it was really a learning curve for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he had a good year with both trucks.
Yeah.
Very consistent.
When did Grant Wilson bring his truck out? Was that this year as well, or
Who's that?
Grant Wilson, that black truck?
Darren Wilson.
Darren.
That
His
truck
brain. Was that this? Was that his first year?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, because he was driving his dad's running bear.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a new truck on the circuit, and won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'll share that. Yep.
Yeah, memories, and there's so much more to pulling than just when people are on the track. A lot of my memorable moments are because of all the other stuff that happens on the way to the pool, on the way home, in the pits. The track part is just a very small fraction. That was not a good day.
My Falker's most memorable moment was the Kendra not being able to find the pits at Mason-Dixon Pool. That can be a little tricky if you've never been there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two ways to get to it, but to know the right way.
And I took the really long way.
That's not hard to do.
And Mike, again, I appreciate you driving me back over to get my car and bringing it to the pits. And he only did that because
you were down across the street then.
Yeah, they had me go over and park across the street.
Okay.
Way down across the street.
Mm-hmm. I know where it's at, down the bottom there. You had to ride the thing. Yeah. Shuttle.
That will not be happening again this year.
You know where to go now.
Well, I don't know if I'll drive. I'll probably go with him to Easton and then up to, if it falls on the same weekends, obviously, again.
We got some new, we got some potential for some new hooks in Delaware this year. So we got our fingers crossed for that. I believe there's rumor possibly of a second hook at Delmar. I heard telephone is running from Georgetown, so hopefully something will work out. John, before you can get something worked out with those people, and go to some new venues. I love going to new venues. Sure.
Clint, I found the fair easily enough. Could not find the truck. And we learned you don't eat the barbecue sandwich.
I couldn't tell you that.
No good. No
really?
Good. No good.
Oh, no. That's not
definitely made some people sick that night.
Really?
Yeah. It was like that the black trailer that had like pink lettering or something on it. Oh.
I haven't been to a fair pool. Well, as far as East Coast goes, it's probably been 2 or 3 years or longer because of COVID.
We said we should have known because the first time we went there, they told us it was going to be like another 20 minutes to a half an hour for them to have the sandwiches done.
Okay.
Well, next thing we know, somebody came walking by with a sandwich. We're like, how'd you get stuff cooked that quick? Or no, they told us it was going to even be like a half or like 45 minutes to an hour. Well, then we go up and get our beef sandwiches, and it was pretty bloody.
Oh,
It was pretty bloody, but I think we ended up having to pay. It was like $13 or
yeah,
$14
they're
for a
not cheap. I know
sandwich. So you hated to waste it, but yeah, it was not good. But hey, the ice cream was delicious.
that. When all else fails, go to the ice cream booth.
Yeah. Oh, that and it rained. I remember that we were like on a serious rain delay too.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a memorable pull. Mason Dixon was the first Kempton pull. You know that Kempton Kevin Nutt is a fantastic guy. Him and his family do a lot of great things there at Kempton. I do not have very many good memories at Kempton.
Well,
Because remember the first pool, it was just Norm and I had just come back from vacation. Like I drove from south of Pocomoke City up to his place, and then we went to Kempton, and his trailer bottomed out, and the siding got ripped off. Yeah, that was not a
what?
great day.
That's Virginia. You get
Huh?
south of Pocomoke City, that's Virginia.
Yeah, I was down at Chincoteague with
Okay,
my family,
okay.
and then I came home, drove straight from Pocomoke City, well, South Pocomoke City, on up to Newville, got in the truck, went on up to Kempton.
That's a long drive.
Yeah,
That is a long drive from Chincoteague to Newville, Pennsylvania.
it was a very, very long drive. I think I left, it was like 6 hours for me to get from there.
Mm-hmm. Those are long.
Um, and then plus the drive from Newville to Kempton, only to have the trailer bottom out, and then the siding came back off on the way home, and it was just a
Remember
mess.
that story.
It was terrible. It was horrible. But it was memorable.
Yep.
And then remember the fall pool there in September. It was so dang on cold.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I had to turn the heat on the RV. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have heat in the trailer yet. That's one of the new improvements the trailer's getting this
Mm.
winter.
Oh,
Thank you,
definitely.
Norm. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, all in all, I think both clubs had a pretty good year. All
Yep.
clubs, really.
Hmm.
Hopefully, the puller numbers start picking up all the way, around the area. Uh,
I think they will. I
they will.
think I think we're on the uphill side. Um, you talk to anybody who's been in polling for a long time in JR, you know this. This is normal. Numbers go up and down, up and down. We'll
You'll,
be back up to 15 to 20 in a class in no time.
I think so.
I truly
People,
think so.
took a hit when companies shut down, and you don't just pick right up and you know be successful again. I mean, it's tough. Some people will put out of work for a while, and then it comes down to people learn how to stay home.
Hmm.
They learned other things to do, other things to stay with their family and stuff like that. So, man, it sounds like excuses, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
People find out, hey, there's something other than tractor pulling or dirt track racing or something. But give it time. It's once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. You'll be back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I think numbers will pick up for sure, and I'm really excited for 2023 in the Pro Pulling League. Uh, the door closed. It wasn't slammed. It was just closed, and other opportunity doors are now open for big sponsors to come in and support the sport that we all love. So here in the East Coast, good things are happening. Looking for class sponsors, looking for title class sponsors, if you will. In other words, Club Kendra's diesel. Well, you can't say that because it's East Coast Diesel 4x4 now. East Coast Diesel 4x4 is the new class name for what was Pro Stock Diesel, which is now open to Super Stock trucks, diesel trucks, Super Stock diesel trucks. So the new class name pretty much is East Coast Diesel 4x4. Pretty cool.
Yep.
And hopefully we get some Super Stock guys to come on in and have fun.
There's a new truck, Full Pool Productions. The old nut job truck is now going to be running with Full Pool Productions. And they are close enough that maybe we'll get them to come out and make a couple hooks with the East Coast. So now that they're able to.
Carl Butler, he's got some things, he's got some iron in the fire.
Yep.
Some new stuff. And be pretty cool to see. Hopefully he'll come support us some. He's fairly local here, so.
Yep, I think he will as long as his work schedule allows.
Yeah, he's pretty busy. Pretty busy individual.
He is very busy.
Andy Grove needs something to drive.
That Andy Grove.
We gotta get Grove back.
Do we though? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Can't keep Henry out forever.
He's a door slammer, but it's okay.
Clint Yance, won't stop you. But anyway, yeah, it's been a good year, and next year's going to be even better. I've heard the attitude adjuster modified is for sale, and I mean everything: the truck, the trailer, the tractor. That's all for sale. So my luck, want to go modified for it. Get it. Let's go.
Is it for sale or on sale? Say, how bad do they want to sell it?
Yeah. You know, Phil's been doing it a long time too. You know, he's been pulling many years.
Yeah.
And hate to see it not just sitting and not on the track. It is.
Yeah.
Then Brookhart, again, have a great year. We'll definitely see him back out. What a crew. Mike Mills. Prayers for you, buddy. I'm not going to go into what's going on, but doggone it. Get well and get home. That's all I can say about that. That's another honoriness we got to have around.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's getting along well. We'll get him home soon. Absolutely. I don't know, Mikey. You got anything else?
See, I'm trying to think of anything else.
I'm sure I could go over another hour's worth of stuff, but I'm tired. I've had a long day. Keystone Nationals. Let me touch on the 2023 show. If you go back an episode or two, we read off the classes that will be competing at the 2023 event. No price changes. You can order your tickets online. I'm not always able to answer the phone through the day because I'm not always here. KeystoneNationalsPool.com. Go to the website. It's plain and simple. It's right on the main screen. Tickets. Click the red box. You can go in there and scroll down to the bottom of that ticket page, and there's link blocks, which I'm going to talk to somebody and have them moved to the proper location here. But if you want to see a seating chart, there's a link block there. You can click on to see the seating chart of the arena. Tickets took off pretty hard, pretty quick. They've moderated now, but there's still tons of seats left, and we want to, keep the event sponsors happy and the pullers mainly. We want a big crowd in front of all four shows. Mm-hmm. We didn't raise the prices. There was talk that we might do that. We just left it alone for this year. That may happen next year. I don't know. We're the cheapest indoor truck and trike pool. The cheapest.
By a long shot.
There you go. And I don't want to hear it because you don't have National Tractor Show. Bull. We've got some very strong vehicles here in the East that are very capable of running any national circuit anywhere.
And do.
And some do.
And
That's
do.
correct. And do. And so, yeah, we are definitely the cheapest. Uh, and we put on a good show. We've been doing this thing. We assembled for the first time in 2007 in meetings to start putting this thing on, and um, you count the years from there. We were shut down in 2020 after one show, and then of course we lost 2021. So out of all those years, only 2 years we haven't done anything. So 2021 was the silent year.
Yeah.
But, tickets are on sale. Reserved seating, plenty of seats still available, all sections, except for the two that are blocked for the the big sponsorships for the show, sponsor companies. You cannot buy an all weekend pass there. You have to buy them by the session. It's out of my control. It's the way the ticket company is set up. You can buy all weekend or by the event brown chairs down on dirt floor. You can purchase them as an all weekend deal. And we also have box seating, and half of those from last year are already sold.
Wow.
We have 8 sections. I can add more. And they're all good seats. I don't care where you sit in that place, it's a good seat. KeystoneNationalsPool.com. You don't have to ring the telephone. If you are a handicapped person needing a handicapped spot, yes, you need to call me. That's the only way you can get a handicapped spot.
And don't forget, I think in two and a half weeks, Shipshewana at the Mech Center out in Shipshewana, Indiana, the Midwest Winter Nationals.
Go out there and aggravate Clint for me.
Yep. Or I think they already have their live stream available for purchase. And when you buy their live stream, you will know and understand that Keystone is one of the cheapest.
Oh, yeah, we have a live stream as well.
Yes.
It's cool to sit home and watch it from home, but
it's not the same.
A lot more cool to be there where you can walk the pits during the day, talk to the pullers, get an autograph, get a shirt. There's tons of vendors we want you to come and see and visit with. You can, if you got children, bring your children in there.
Yep.
Walk the pits, and 99.9% of the pullers will gladly let you put your child in the seat of that pulling vehicle and take all the pictures you want. I can promise you that. I promise you that. It's really cool. Of course, we have the best of show for each, best appearing vehicle for each class. That'll be, as far as I know, it's going to happen. It's on the website, so it hasn't been brought up at a meeting yet. So, but I'm more than sure. I mean, it's successful, and a lot of pullers. Yeah, well, if you're entered and you're in the building, you're going to get judged. There's no cost to you if your vehicle's sitting here and it gets judged. So, yeah, there's plenty to do. Plenty of local places to eat. Plenty of local places to visit. The Hershey Chocolate Factory is not too far away at all. Excuse me. So, and the RVs, there's plenty of RV dealerships up around the Hershey area. There's plenty to do. All kinds of stuff. Come on down, support a good cause.
Yep.
Boy, that was a yep, I'm done and ready to go. If I ever heard one.
I'm fading quickly.
Yeah, it's been a long day. But yes, we have some guests that I haven't talked to in a while, but I know they have agreed to come on. One of them is Dwayne Martin and Bill Grove. We're going to do a nostalgia show. I haven't forgot about that. Surprise, Bill Grove. But we're going to be doing that. I got to dig all these pictures up to here somewhere, and get them loaded in. It's going to be a show I don't think we can cover in 1 hour. So when they do get that show lined up, that's going to be a show. It's probably going to start 7. and run for an hour plus easily. So if you want to learn a little bit about the old days, I've got the perfect guy coming on, Bill Grove, because Bill Grove has been doing it forever. I'm not trying to call him old by no means. Bill Grove was a competitor for many, many years, on the tech side of things for many years. So I'm not sure what time it is. About New York.
Yeah, I am not knowledgeable. That would be an Adam drop question.
Speaking of Adam Drop, again, they'll be doing their fundraiser. We're going to be getting them on here and trying to raise some interest in that for them. You know what? Doggone it. Shame on me. I'm going to run this by everybody real quick. um, we're still, I don't know. I've not heard from the bar, so I don't know. She did try to call me a good while back when I was just not home, haven't been home, etc., etc. But I've preached it many times, so here it is. If you just take a minute to read it, let's help the Bonner family out. New Year coming. We really hope Jerry's doing well, and I know they need help. The whole family. I've had many reach out to me, and I hope every single one of them did follow through and send some help their way. So we appreciate that. And we're going to ask the same thing here for Adam. I don't know. We're going to get him one. He's going to let me know when he's got everything ready to go, and we'll get him one. Probably his brother again as well. So, try to do a little fundraiser for them. But in this case here, we definitely want to help out the Barnes family as much as possible. How about that? We're over an hour 7 minutes, Kendra.
Yeah.
I was thinking we might fill 35 minutes.
I can talk like the rest of them.
When I talk this much straight through, that's why I always have a mug of coffee or something, because I start losing my voice a little bit.
Yeah.
I know everybody enjoys it. Yeah, shut up, JR. It's okay. But, yeah, we'd like to say, as far as the guests go, Kendra, I'd like for you to kind of poke around a little bit there on the interstate side of things. Try to get some of them fellas over there. It'd be cool to have Dale and Ian.
I think, Dale and Ian one night when they're up at the shop working.
That would be hilarious. That would be a fun show.
Dale, we couldn't get him on his smartphone because he's still got an Amish phone. He's still got the old flip phone. And he will say that he has an Amish cell phone. It is the old flippy phone from back in the early 90s. Like, they have to special order it for him to get a new one.
Wow. How about that?
So we'd have to get them in. Honestly, I would probably have to go there, do an on-site visit.
I tell you what, I used a flip phone for a long time too, and I was like, I ain't never worried about texting or anything. But once you learn how to do it,
it makes it pretty convenient.
Flip phone, text with one of these. Oh my lord, I'll never have a phone ever again. It took forever to text with one of them. The fastest I ever seen, me personally, was Randy Devon with a flip phone texting. I'm like, how in the world? Of course, I was still learning how to do it. I didn't even, Once Nextel was gone, I was in trouble. It was all new technology for me. I didn't run the walkie-talkie anymore. But that's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, for sure. Keystone Nationals, guys. Keep your eyes on that. KeystoneNationalsSchool.com. Hopefully here soon they'll start getting the driver entries posted. And, by all means, order your tickets. Tickets on 24/7 for sale online. That's the way to get them, because if you're in a hurry to get that special seat, don't call here. Well, I'm not going to tell you not to call here. But I can't promise you I'll be here because, life, there's other things in life I have to do too and work. So, by all means, you're welcome to call here. If you're handicapped, you cannot purchase those online. You do have to call me. And all that information is on the Keystone Nationals website under the tickets tab. So, okay. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. thank goodness this cold snap's over with.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy.
that was enough.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't run that pellet stove hard enough to keep this place warm. I think I might disappear next week for a day or two. Well, don't laugh. I don't think we're going to have a show next week.
That's fine. That's next week is crazy for me. I have tax training and just all the things.
Mama
So,
has spoken to you, so.
yeah.
And it's birthday week for somebody. Usually we camp on birthday week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's supposed to be nice, so.
Well, that's said a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty cold.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, for sure. We probably won't be here next week, but we do have some guests lined up. And Andrea is another one. It's a garden tractor puller. I talked to her back when this show first started going, and we're going to get her on here and provide a little different aspect of pulling from a different scale, if you will, of pulling. I might even get together with Scott Jones and do some not RC, but the micro mini tractor one, which is tabletop pull. They just had a pull here not too long ago at Dave Greek shop. I was not able to attend due to work, but that's pretty cool stuff too. You can post some pictures in there, and Scott can just trust me. Scott can talk. I would just sit back and let him talk. That would be kind of cool to get him on and do that too. I got some ideas in mind. The hardest ones to get on here are the pullers. Because usually they're busy. I mean, when they're not pulling, they're working. They're working so they can pull. I understand. So, but I've talked to a couple of them. Dave Doherty's one of them, and I think we'll be able to get him on here. Brian Morrison, I'd like to get him on here. I'd like to get all of them on here at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just have to keep turning the screws and see who we can get lined up. So,
yep.
And get some interstate guys on here too. So, with that said, as you can see the background, everybody, it's Happy New Year time.
Happy New Year.
Safe. Please be safe. Everybody enjoys a good time and a good party. Just don't drink and drive, please.
Yep.
Yeah, JR said that. You believe it? JR don't drink and drive. But for sure, next Wednesday is up in the air. If you see the link, we're going to have a show. If not, why. So, we appreciate you tuning in. As you always do, we appreciate it. And like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up, and have a happy new year. And we'll talk to you next year.
Yep. See you guys.